guys and gals, and welcome. Let me flip this thing around, or I'm going to have a bloody. Let's flip her back around now. Welcome to the Monday, June 2nd episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Sorry I had to flip that thing around. I was getting that little flip your screen warning on the camera, but apparently it's working just fine. I got to put up with a little cell phone picture right in the center of my forehead this morning. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. Oh, good morning, Justin. Good to see you, bud. It's been quite the night. It's been quite the week, honestly. Production going up, so I'm going in even earlier than before. One day last week, I was in there at 12:30 in the morning, 12:30 at night. Another day I was in there at 1. Another day I was in there at 2:30. Uh, Starting to weigh on the old man, especially when I got responsibilities here at home, so I can't come home from work and sleep. I'm just tired. How is the eye? Um, it's still silvering over more and more every day. Um, Still can't see out of it. It might as well be a heavy uh, North Atlantic fog whenever I try to use it. Even at night, I can't see out of it now. Uh, so, yeah, proceeding normally. Ben, good morning. Hope you're, well, good night over there. Hope you're doing good. Oh, went and done the advertised uh, investigation last night. Or at least, let's just say, we gave it the old college try. Of course, what we did manage to get will premiere Wednesday evening as advertised. Um, but I'm here to say this is not over, and I'm going to leave it with that. We will go back here very soon, and we're going to make this thing work. But it was a complete and total show. I mean, it just. I mean, I have seen some pretty bad investigations in my life. I, it was a good investigation, but it, let's just say, whoever's there didn't want to cooperate. Um, they were playing games, and I was so frustrated when we got home last night that I left all my equipment in the car unlocked. I was really kind of debating whether or not it would be a good thing or a bad thing if somebody got in the car and just took everything. That's how frustrated I was when we got home last night. So if that tells you anything, yeah. I will be moving this live stream over to the other channel, the Paranormal Papa Investigations. Um, but the video is only going to premiere over on PPI. Uh, yeah, I'm still a little angry about it. Getting up this morning, I actually slept in. I didn't even get out of bed until almost 6 o'clock. That's how much I didn't want to start the day or start editing the investigation, the video for Wednesday. But I decided, nope, I'm not going to sit around and mope. I'll get in there, much like the investigation. I'll give the video the old college try. And I just sat and chuckled through the first 15 minutes of editing I got done. So you like I said, you guys will all see Wednesday or Thursday or whenever you watch it, why I say uh, this investigation was a complete and total show. So let me see here. Hopefully no eye cancer, brother, but sounds like has something wrong and going blind could be a permanent thing. Hope it's not the case. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. College try, you mean stood at the entrance and protested. No, no, didn't protest. Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, how was it yesterday? Well, I'm kind of in the process of explaining that. It was a show. Wait, do you mean one of the people that you went with was cooperating? Be right back. Oh, there's the weather warning. Be right back. Got to put the trash out and refill my cup. I already did that. Trash is out as soon as I heard the trash trucks running at 6 o'clock this morning. No, I mean the only person that went with me was the wife, and she cooperated like a champ. She was trying to keep me calm and cool while everything was going on, and it was not working. I even at one point got so upset at what was happening. And like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to let you guys see when the video premieres on Paranormal Papa Investigations over on the other channel, the Paranormal Papa channel. Um, I think, and she may have got it on film. I don't know. She was running my camera for me. Uh, but I believe at one point in time I threatened to bounce one of my devices off the floor. Um, it was not good. It was not good. Whatever inhabits that place was having a lot of fun at my cost last night. What? Let's see here. Wish I had a wife. All my mates married or as a partner. I need to activate my pimp juice. Oh, there's nothing like marriage, having that partner there to have your back, um, go out and do the investigations with you when you need someone. Um, if you guys look back through the history of my investigations, this is only the second time third time the wife has gone out with me in almost 200 investigations. This is only the third time she's gone out with me. So, yeah, if that tells you anything about the level of BS I was just spewing out, um, yeah. Um, we have a cat now. We adopted her this weekend. If you wanted a cat, my God, we have so many little homelesses running around out here that we take care of so they don't die. Our own house kitties suffer, uh, much like yesterday morning. I left for work at 2:30 in the morning and had to feed the little homelesses so they didn't follow me down the street and risk getting hit by some of the numbskulls that drive around here. And then my kitties went without food until yesterday afternoon when we managed to get to the dollar store to get a couple bags of the food that we feed them. So if you wanted a cat, we've got the two black tortoise shells, the three gold kitties, mama kitty, the tortoise shell, the gray tortoise shell. Oh, we could have got you kitties, and you wouldn't even have had to adopt them. We would have just given to you. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't mind sharing my adventures with that someone special. It's nice you have someone to do stuff with. I'm already passing that on to my kids, and they love it. I have no pets. I don't want one anymore. This could change at any moment. That's a bit of a drive. Yeah, I know. I know. But it would have been a good reason to hang out and cook out on the grill, or whatever the case may be. It could have been an impromptu vacation for you and the kids. There's never a bad vacation, impromptu vacation. I say that now, though we can't do impromptu vacations. Hell, we can't even do an impromptu drive. Um, so, yeah, don't listen to anything I'm saying this morning. Um, it does change, but if it does change, it'll likely not be a cat. I have a lot of pets. You need a cat, Tony. 4 birds, 2 fish tanks, a cat, a bearded dragon, and a turtle. Who despises cats? I literally hate cats. I've always been a dog person. I've never had a cat. I've always had big dogs. Um, I've had a husky prairie wolf. I've had a Malamute timber wolf. I've had German shepherds. When me and my son lived together, he had his little pitty, little gator mouth brindle. Um, I've always had rambunctious, loud, big dogs. My Malamute, when he stood up on his hind legs, he was almost 6 feet tall. He would look down into my eyes at 5'7". Um, he would jump up on me when I got home from work, put his paws on my shoulders, and look down into my eyes. And of course, you got that tongue that's like this long that he would completely bathe you with when he started loving on you and everything out in the backyard. Um, but yeah, retrievers. Um, Jeez, criminy Corsos. Having these three cats in the house, and then the babies we take care of outside to keep them safe and healthy. It's like running a little teeny tiny orphanage. Uh, I literally hate cats. Tony hates. No, I'm here to tell you, Tony does not. I have heard some stories from Tony. He absolutely positively does not hate that. I like cats because they are self sufficient. No, good mouser is not an issue for me. But I only ever want to see when a mouse is in its jaws. They actually came home yesterday from the store, and the little black one that was just, our little black tortoise shell that was just out here talking to me a minute ago, was running around playing with a mole. Had a mole in its mouth, and she wasn't killing it. Was the thing. I mean, she'd pick it up, she'd play with it, she'd carry it around, she'd put it on the deck, it'd start to walk, she'd pick it back up, carry it around with her. I don't know if she ever ate it or not. We came in the house, she was still playing with her little mole friend. So I don't know if she ever killed it or not. I've not seen it laying anywhere or any remnants of it or the um, um, bloodbath out on the deck. So I don't know. It took a bit for this one to take a shine to us, scratched us up. Some things are not meant to be joked about. Um, Hi. Hey, Kingdom. Cooking anything good lately? Um, oh, my daughter. When I got home from work yesterday morning, which I timed myself good, by the time the wife got back in town at 6:30 from work, 6:30 a.m., I was just stop ending what I was doing yesterday morning. So I was able to come home with her, and she went to bed, because she went to work at 10 o'clock last night. I went to work at she went to work at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, and I didn't go in until about 2:30. But she I had laid out chicken, and I wanted my daughter to uh, you know, basically cut it into little chunks and fry it, and then mix it with broccoli and rice and one of her really awesome Asian seasonings that she's got that she uh, cooks with all the time. And the chicken did not thaw out. So the wife found out that these little Tyson Anytizers were on sale, little chicken nuggets and stuff. So they ran to the store yesterday afternoon and grabbed a bag of them. And the daughter fried them, and then she honey glazed them with a homemade honey dipping sauce that she created. And oh my God, dude, Kingdom, that stuff was the best not crispy fried chicken that I've ever had. I don't know what she put in that dipping sauce, but when it come out of the oven off the pan, she put it directly into the skillet and poured that honey dipping sauce over the top of it and glazed it. Dear God Almighty, that stuff was amazing. Cats are the only animal that will kill for the fun of it. Good morning, David. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Uh, but yeah, like I said, guys, the I will be moving, or I will be sharing this live stream over onto the Paranormal Papa Investigations channel, our new channel, or our second channel. Uh, and then the video from last night's investigation will premiere, or will only be on Paranormal Papa over on PPI. Um, it's definitely going to be one to watch. I mean, we are all inundated, I'm pretty sure, with seeing all these investigations that pop up on our suggested videos from all these different people. But I can absolutely guarantee you have never seen an investigation like this one. This was, by all rights and means, the fullest extent of the word a show. We're not done with that place, I'm here to tell you. Hope you have fun, Summer Drew. Um, I'm planning on it. This coming weekend, we have the first beach bash. Well, we have our beach bash to kick off our summer season here in town or here in the village. It's going to be a Friday and Saturday night. Uh, we'll have one band on Friday with fireworks over the lake out here. Saturday we'll have more food vendors, more bands, and a drone show. Um, Summer's here. It's going to be almost 80 degrees today here. It's going to be almost 90 tomorrow. Summer's here. But I really appreciate it. I hopefully, we can keep a lot of things rolling this summer with new investigations. Of course, here in this is the second, so here in 19 days, I'm going to be doing my first public speaking engagement as a paranormal investigator at Ghostorama in Jackson, Michigan. If anybody wants the information on that, just get a hold of me on Messenger, or if you have my uh, cell number, get text me, and I will send the flyer to you so you can get the information, the address, and stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sharing my history and my experiences with not only seasoned veterans but new people getting into the field. I'll be talking about all the other teams that I've had the pleasure of working with, some of our investigations, some of our mishaps, um, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, wasn't a lot. 4-6 best. We're still in the 60s here in Connecticut. Feral cat thing was an unspoken thing with forest management. Wish it was that warm here. My heat is on. It's been raining every day and it's cold. Well, believe it or not, we're supposed to be 79 degrees today. Right now it is, well, since the sun came up, It's actually gone up 7 degrees. When I took the trash out at little after 6 this morning, it was 39 degrees. It's 46 degrees now that the sun's starting to come up. So temperature's going up fast. And I believe it is slowly working its way eastward. So, depending upon how you see this picture, this is eastward here. Just in case, I'll do this too. It's slowly working its way eastward. And hopefully, you guys in Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Connecticut, um, D.C., Carolinas, Pennsylvania, Ohio, we'll all be getting that warm weather here real soon, too. I would offer a cuddle, but it's just getting warm here. My heat is on. It's been raining every day and it's cold. It's supposed to start getting warm tomorrow. Fingers crossed. It is a balmy 55 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. See, it's moving my way, so hopefully it'll continue to move eastward. So all you poor souls that still have your heaters on and are sitting around the house with a sweater on, like I do at night, um, so the polar bear can stay comfortable. Um, but then again, it's like I told you guys. She literally middle of January, 15 degrees outside. She has the window opened about that much with a fan on high. And you want to see funny. That's when I'm sitting in there with, one of my thermal shirts on, my hoodie, and my sweater with my hood pulled up and my hands tucked inside my sweater, watching TV with her while she is sitting in a tank top and a pair of sweatpants on top the covers with the fan blowing directly on her. It's probably why I'm not all wrinkly and stuff like that. The cold temperature is preserving me, like the Iceman. And the heater under my desk is on at this moment. I do the fan and open window winter setup too. You're lucky you live near a lake. It's not a bad little lake. Um, Stone Lake, right down the road to the west of us, is it's a cute little lake, and they're still working on broadening out the beach. They just brought in uh, a couple dump trucks full of sand to lengthen out the beach. Um, we've got the great big pier that they built here a couple years ago for fishing off of. All the paddle boats are docked there. They got the kayak rentals and stuff down there, and paddle boat rentals, and people jumping off the end of the pier and swimming to shore. Which it's I would say probably half a football field long. So nice location. Take the family. Cute little beach. It's about to double in size. And they're still discussing going south with it all the way down to the log cabin museum. So who knows? Who knows, Highlander? Who knows? But yeah, and then Diamond Lake, which is on the southeast corner of town, that's a big lake. You actually have to take the ferry out to the island, where people have some of their big houses built. There's no way to drive to the island. They park in the parking lot, um, up by the clubhouse, and then take the ferry out to the island to get home. So yeah, I mean it's a pretty good sized lake. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Every year we have a ice fishing competition. Um, Down here at Stone Lake. I don't know if Diamond Lake does an ice fishing competition. I know we have a lot of people out there that have boats, but I honestly don't know how many fishermen we have at Diamond Lake. Diamond Lake, of course, is the area that I refer to as Camp Ritchie Folk. You know, you have houses starting at almost $1 million out there, going all the way up to, you know, three and four, five, even possibly $5 million. I'm sure you've heard the saying, they have more dollars than sense. You know, these are the people that, and I have honest to God seen this. I've honest to God seen this. Some of these people will build a house and they will spend $2 or $3 million building this house, and in 5 years they have somebody come in, rip off all their siding, and put up a different color of siding just because they get tired of the slate gray or whatever, and they change it over to blue and have crews come in and wrap all their windows in white, um, add on to their house. Oh well, we're gonna go on and build this new garage, so let's bulldoze our existing driveway and actually broaden it out so we can get out to the 3 car garage that we're putting on, attached to the 2 car garage. And these people, you know, they're only here 6 or 7 months a year. Most of them. Some of them live out there year round. A lot of them come in from the big cities: Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, um, Nashville, Atlanta, and they come up here right about Memorial Weekend, or start coming up Memorial Weekend, and usually until, um, I would say, the middle of June. That's the time period that we become a tourist location, and it lasts until the end of August, middle of September, when houses start getting closed up, or they have somebody come in and house sit from September until May, and or they completely close up their place, lock up their garages, set their alarms, and vanish. But that's the time period when all the prices go up around here, and our 3,000 inhabitant town becomes more like a 5,000 inhabitant town. So, um, I love the lake. Tony, I hope to take my kids this summer to a little lake. Sounds cool. Is it open to the public? Of course. Good, Tony, everyone. Morning, Ty. Good to see you, bud. I've known people to build a house just to have it repossessed after just moving into it. Never have too much garage. Well, no, because when they drive here in their Escalade or whatever from Atlanta or Nashville or Chicago, then they open it up and they have their BMW or their really shiny Escalade or their little ATV run around um, Cub. Uh, uh, yeah, more dollars than cents. It, it, I'll be honest with you. Being a simple person like I am, and stuff. If I had 1/100th, honest to God, 1/100th of what they blow in annually in the bank, you would never see me asking for donations and stuff anymore. I would never do it. The only time I would ever do any, matter of fact, I wouldn't even do that for drawings and gift givings and stuff like that. I've got this thing coming up here in 19 days. I have no business cards. I don't have a banner that's nothing. So I'm doing my investigations on outdated equipment. I shit, I had 1/100th of what they blow, and I would never ask for a donation again. Oh, too much garage. We used to have a guitar store here named Musicland or Don's Musicland. Oh, I'd like to be the house sitter. I had to think of something since I started doing music. Don't forget those and golf carts. And you very seldom ever see golf carts out there. A few of them you do, but they're the decked ones. They're the decked out ones that are jacked up, and they have like the custom built bodies on them. Look like little Porsches or little Cadillac yeah, Escalades, and you don't see it very. The only place you see normal golf carts is on our golf course that's out on the east end of town, and there's so much money pumping through that golf course that they put golf carts out along the highway to sell. Um, it, it it will completely and totally surprise me if I see any less than 10 golf carts over the summer out there to sell, and they're asking outrageous amounts for them so they can afford to get the new golf carts for next year. See, we're not as back country up here in Michigan as what a lot of people think we are. We got us a golf course, 18 hole at that. We got us a, uh, a skiing slope out east of town, Swiss Valley. We got us places to water ski, and we got us lakes and places to go fishing. We ain't as back country up here in Michigan as a lot of people think we is. We civilized up here. Tony, New Zealand, they have public musical public musical toilets. You can pee in and it plays a tune. You have a trumpet pee trough and keyboard pee trough. What? So what? You just pee in the trumpet bell, or and on the keyboard, so you can, like, while you're peeing, you can make music. What the hell? See, I think I'd like to live in a tourist place like that. I bet there's lots of free stuff to do. Um, I don't know how much money you make annually, Sarah, but I wouldn't bet a lot. I mean, we have the beaches and the paddle boats and the kayaks and stuff down here at Stone Lake. They're only like $5 an hour, $6 an hour to rent them. Of course, you know, laying on the beach, soaking up the sun while the kids play in the water is always free. Um, it's not too bad. I mean, there's stuff to do. There's places to go, things to see. Uh, I really honestly got no complaints except for, you know, the normal bitches and moans that people have when you live in a location like this that's not a full time uh, tourist area. And, you know, prices go up all summer long. Um, so, you know, you to maintain a stocked pantry and a stocked refrigerator and stuff like that, you have to pull money away from other things to keep that same, you know. But other than that, it's it's not bad. It's not bad. Um, Lord, we have about 100 slow ass traffic blocking pieces of shit around these. um, I did not want to think of musical toilets. Well, I mean, you know, if you know, you got to take a number two, and it's playing the 1812 overture. Plop. 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 The nice thing about it is you don't spend too much time in the bathroom because you're trying to get away from the frickin' music. So you get your business done and get the hell out of Dodge to let the next person come in and suffer through their poop. How the William Tell overture might work things. See, we're thinking right up the same line. Not classical music, folk. Lone Ranger theme. Morning, sis. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Sorry, guys. Chat froze on me. Had to refresh. I'm good. Thank you. How are you? I am. How am I? Christ. Um, I'm alive and kicking. I'm still frustrated about last night's investigation. But like I was saying early off in the chat, um, I am not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to the video will premiere Wednesday, I believe, at 8 o'clock on the Paranormal Papa channel. Because I'm going to keep my promise and keep all of our paranormal stuff over on that channel. Sadly enough, I can't move any of my investigations from this channel over to that channel. I've been trying to for 4 or 5 days now, and I can't move them, and I can't find a really cool way to move the entire playlist over there. So I'm still working on it though. I'm still watching as many videos to figure out how to do it. Eventually, I want to move. I want to keep this channel just to our history and stuff like that, and keep anything and everything paranormal over on that channel. So in a week, I think we're up to 14 or 15 subscribers over on that channel. I figured since that channel was connected to this channel that I'd be able to carry over not the numbers, but they would count as, since they're one owned unity, that I wouldn't have to wait for 2,000 subscribers, 1,500 subscribers and stuff like that to try to monetize that channel. Um, so we'll keep building this one up and keep building that one up, and hopefully I'm not dead by the time we hit all those numbers over there, and I can get a new effing ridiculous electronic device to um, do all of our editing and stuff on, and be able to use a real desktop computer to get remonetized. We'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely. Last night was last night's investigation was definitely something to write home about. It's actually titled, "Do Investigations Ever Go as Planned? This investigation was a show," um, and it was just that. It's like I said earlier. I actually left my equipment in the car last night with the doors unlocked, kind of, sort of hoping somebody would steal everything. That's how bad I felt at almost midnight last night. And I very seldom ever get really frustrated. I've learned to live with the health issues, and losing my sight in one eye, and things very seldom ever going as we plan them to. I got this cyst or whatever in my left foot, where it feels like my sock is constantly balled up under my toes. um, I just had to go through shoes until I found a pair of shoes that didn't irritate it, and I'm still rolling. I'm still walking to and from work when I and the wife's schedules don't jog up. I'm still spending 4 or 5 hours at work on the concrete, um, on it. I don't limp no more and baby it. I just go on about my business. So, but like I said, I don't normally complain about things or let things get me down anymore. You guys have really helped me through that issue um, over the last few years. But man, I'll tell you what, I got into that investigation last night and it started off great. I had my wife with me for only the third time in the 5.5 years that I've been doing the investigations. And it went from here to here really fast. So it was definitely an interesting experience. Don't forget to, for those of you that are going to catch this um, after we're no longer live, um, since some of you can see the chat and some of you won't see the chat, um, if you want to help out the channel or the investigations or anything like that, you can find the link where you can help us out down in the description below the video. It's yeah, y'all don't realize how much that love and support means. There'd be a lot of times I would tie a cinder block around my ankles and kick it off the pier if it wasn't for y'all. Give myself one of them good old fashioned mafioso funerals. But the nice thing about it is doing these paranormal investigations have really given me an out to um, fighting this sensation that's overcome me of recent years. This damn, you're getting old. You're pretty useless now. So the wife is just keeping you around out of courtesy because she don't want to see you. See your blind old ass fall down and vanish. So yeah. Um, oh no, no, no. We're not going to call it like it's more of a joke. It's more of a joke, Tony, than anything. Um, when I first got sick, right after her and I got married, I did hit an all-time low because the doctors were telling me they didn't want to see me doing this, they didn't want to hear about me doing that, they didn't want to hear me going out and doing things in the yard without somebody around to make sure that I didn't bottom out and fall down or things like that. And over a period of time, I come to the realization that 9 times out of 10, those doctors are following a script. Don't do this, don't do this. It's okay to do this. This ain't dangerous, but don't do this. Don't go riding your bike. Don't don't do this. Don't go out and mow. Uh, don't try to roof your house or climb up ladders or it's like, so who's supposed to do it? The wife that works. Well, let me stop myself right there. The wife that's supposed to work 8 hours a day and then come home and sleep, or work 8 hours at night and then not sleep because she's doing something that I should be doing. Well, that's not reliable because the other day her relief didn't show up. They called off. So she was stuck working from 10 o'clock at night till almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon because there was nobody there to cover as a replacement. So she went into work and worked until 9 hours before she had to be back at work again. When she gonna sleep? She can't put in, 15 or 16 hours and then come home and weed eat and mow the yard and go to sleep and be rested enough to go back to work again in 4 or 5 hours and not eat or anything else. So, and it could be like that every day. You just never know with the kind of job she has. Um, so, I made myself start doing those things again. You know, just like the doctor didn't want me to go back to work 2 years ago. He said, dude, you are unmedicated. You have uh, uncontrolled diabetes. You're supposed to be on blood thinners to keep from getting blood clots again. You've got 37-year-old back damage that has never been treated because your insurance don't cover the kind of treatment that you need. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be fighting for your disability. And, well, then I lost my insurance because, according to the state of Michigan, we make too much money, even though we run out of money 4 or 5 days before payday. So, what are you supposed to do? Do what they tell you to do or do what you need to do? Oh, man. It's not even nine. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Wow, that's pretty cool. Everybody got awful quiet in here, though. But yeah, the whole tying a cinder block to my feet and kicking it off the pier. That's more of a joke than anything. You know. I and once again, I thank you all, um, because you keep me from getting to that point. Coming in here and chatting with y'all, our the talking that we do, um, off screen on Facebook Messenger or whatever the case may be, that actually keeps me good, knowing that I've not just got followers, or friends on here, but I've got actual relationships that carry over off here. So, and speaking of which, Jan, I was actually going to message you yesterday, but I was working on a couple pieces of equipment, um, for last night's investigation. Are you and Jay going to make it to Ghostorama, um, later this month? I know I do, and I'm very happy for that. Sorry, was taking insulin. Well, if you'd stay away from those cinnamon rolls first thing in the morning, you wouldn't need insulin. It's been so long since I've had a cinnamon roll. Oh God, I miss them. I don't even know how Danny is going to get to his own Ghostorama this year because not only is his truck down, but now his wife's Jeep is down as well. So, see, we're not the only ones that have issues. I just seen on Facebook 2 days ago that their Jeep is down now. So, I don't even know how he's going to get to his own event, let alone how I'm going to get there. Unfortunately, not. We're trying to buy farms, so we're in the process of that. Oh, well, at least you guys are looking at the farm. Used to be when somebody said, "Yep, they bought the farm," it was a bad thing. But in you and Jay's case, buying the farm would be a good thing. I haven't had a cinnamon roll for a year or so. It's been about that for me. I miss cinnamon rolls. We uh, we went to the food pantry here about a month or so ago, and they gave us a roll of them Pillsbury cinnamon roll sticks. It's kind of like the croissants where you roll them out and you pull them apart on the perforation and you put them on the cookie sheet and bake them. Then you put the icing on them. Yeah, they's bad. They's bad. We pulled them apart one day and put them on the cookie sheet, and we baked them, and they didn't puff up at all. And then we opened up the icing, and it was brown. So we put the cap back on the icing and threw it in the trash, and took the really flat, disgusting uh, cinnamon roll sticks and put them in the trash and made eggs. It's beautiful out there. Most available rolls around here suck. I really miss the big iced cinnamon rolls with like the nuts in them and stuff that you get at a lot of small family run uh, bakeries or pastry shops, donut shops, whatever the case may be, um, or the ones that are big and they've got like the maple icing all over them. I love maple candy, maple icing, stuff like that. I can't express how much I love our Canadian neighbors for all the maple yummies that they send south of the border. Um, just can't live without my maple. Like father, like son. My God, how you guys doing? Not doing too awful bad down here. Trying to live the dream. Of course, much like with everybody else, a lot of times the dream becomes more like a nightmare. But yeah, hey, you never give up trying to find the dream. I don't like a lot of icing or frosting. See, right there. I just commented about how much I love our Canadian neighbors for all the maple yummies that they send down here south of the border. And lo and behold, one of those amazing Canadian family members show up in here. Much love right back up to Canada, is what I can say. I'm on the mend. Brother legs don't work big. Wound on my foot, but I'm staying positive. One foot in front of the other. Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, I mentioned that earlier too about, trying to stay as positive as you can when, like in my case, I start to go blind in the right eye. I finally go blind in the right eye. Left eye is slowly creeping, getting a little worse once in a while, and other days it's not as bad. I got this cyst in my left foot that feels like your socks are balled up under your toes all the time. Stuff like that. Yeah, but, you keep going. You do everything in your power to stay as strong as you can, not just for yourself, but the people that care about you and people that you care about, because you don't want people sitting around worrying about you all the time. So, yeah, I can definitely respect that one foot in front of the other thing. Good, sir. And so, what kind of treats you want, dude? I will get you some out. Oh, dude, anything maple. Anything maple. I never, I have not found a maple anything that I don't love. And the nice thing about it is, I'm the only one in the house that'll eat it unless it's, maple syrup. Of course, the wife and daughter will both eat that on waffles. But that's the only maple they'll eat. So any other maple anything, um, it's all mine. It's all mine. I have four maple trees here in the yard. I've been contemplating tapping them. I don't know if maple syrup requires a specific type of maple tree. I don't know. We don't have a lot of maple trees down this far. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen like little woods driving down the road where people have got 15 or 20 maple trees tapped, and you can see the little spout and the collection um, bucket or whatever um, hanging on it. But other than just those little patches that people, have left when they clear out an area. Oh, excuse me. They clear out an area for a field or something. Then they leave this little woods, and it's mostly maple trees. But they cleared out so much of the woodland in this area between the late 19th century and the early 20th century for farmland around here. Michigan used to be very heavily wooded, and but most of our towns that no longer exist here were all um, they were lumber towns. They built up. We have a town about 10 miles from here that all that still exists there is a church and two old buildings that were like mercantiles. Um, Mark and I went out and done an investigation at Anderson Cemetery um, here a few years ago, and it's only just a couple miles away from this town. Well, what used to be a town. But when they cleared out all of the woods around the area uh, for lumber or whatever, the town died. The town died. People moved out. It used to be, a 1,000-person town, and there might be two or three families still living in what used to be that town. So that's why we don't have a lot of maple down here. Um, so history question: who was the first person who licked a maple tree and got the idea of making syrup? That's a really good question. I have never found that little tidbit of history. Um, Now, one interesting thing, Niles, Michigan, in Plym Park, where they do the Niles Renaissance Fair um, every year, there is a double sided stone oven that sits in that park. It's got an area on one side for a fire and an area on the other side for a fire, and then it's got a stone built flue right in the center of it that a lot of the historians in the area believe was used by pioneers that when they came in, they started boiling down the maple sap to make maple syrup. Um, it's a, that's the only thing they can figure it's for. Of course, they won't let us use it anymore to build fires, even though they've done nothing to, resurrect the thing and make it look nice again. It's still just an old stone, double-sided fire oven. But you find these little tiny things in the most unlikely places. So, I mean, that proved that, at least in like Niles, Michigan area, there was a big population of maple trees to be able to, you know, give them reason to build this maple oven. So, well, it takes a lot of, so it takes a lot of sap to make just one bottle of syrup after going through the process. Well, beeves don't eat trees. Yeah, in all honesty, I would rather have molasses. We use molasses a lot, have multiple jars. My daughters were, if dad is eating, I want some. Kids and blackstrap molasses broke that habit on all four. Yeah, you give them a big old spoonful of molasses, and they're not as happy as they would be if it was that sweet, savory maple syrup. I don't know what it is. I mean, I came from the era of castor oil, so I mean, if you can stomach taking that stuff, you can stomach molasses. Now, maybe one of these days I'll figure it out. God only knows. Probably not, because I kind of forget what it's like to be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid. Blurp. Ooh, look at that rich black love right there. Nummy, nummy. Blackstrap molasses is an acquired taste. And that, sir, is an understatement. But I grew up with a set of countrified grandparents. So I got real used to um, what's the right word? Um, all those finer things in life. Same idea as drinking brutally strong coffee. And that is precisely what I have this morning to help to pick me out of this harump from last night is bitterly strong coffee. I mean strong as in equal to espresso. That would be my wife. That would be my wife. She does not get coffee at McDonald's or something like that, or our Bigby coffee when she was going up there, that it didn't have 4 or 5 shots of espresso in it. I would take a drink of that and think, okay, well, I need a cup of sugar and a pint of creamer to kill this, to be able to drink it. I don't know how she does it. I really honestly don't. But hey, give me just a second, guys. I got to go make a run to the in-house, um, the modernized inside plumbing room, and because I've been drinking a lot of this stuff this morning. There's got to be a reason that coffee makes you have to use the bathroom more. But anyway, give me a second. I'm gonna go tend to that, and I'll be right back. Talk real nice amongst yourselves, and I'll be back in a second. I'll catch up on what y'all saying. Blah blah yada yada yada. Blah 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 yada yada yada. I go to McDonald's and get an iced coffee for $1 using the app. Yeah, that's what she'll do. A lot of times is she'll do the whole app thing and go and pay $1 for her coffee and be happy about it. Um, it's not bad coffee. I mean, I guess. I used to do the cream and sugar bit, but an ulcer stopped that. I have I have a couple cups. Well, depending upon how I feel, I'll either have 1 or 2 cups with cream and sugar in the morning, and it's black the rest of the day, or the rest of the pot. But on these mornings when I need strong coffee, I just forego the cream and sugar. Well, coffee is mostly water. Coffee is a natural diuretic. Definitely so. A cute ghost mug. Yeah, I'm actually looking for somebody who can make me coffee mugs to so we can start taking care of our own merch. Like I said, I'm in right now though with Ghostorama coming up and us trying to broaden out the channel and get it in front of more folks. Since we're working really diligently on this mainstream investigation thing, and some folks out west have taken an interest in what we do, but have insisted that we update some of our equipment, which last night proved that we definitely need to do, and update some of our locations. Um, I'm trying to get. I'm finding it necessary to try to get new business cards, new advertising, um, flyers. Um, yeah, I've got a printer, but I don't have a computer that will attach to the printer. I've got a crick cut where I could go through the printer and make the designs to do the cups, but not being able to connect to those two devices inhibits me. So that's like my big necessity right now is business cards, flyers. I'm going to have to get a new banner. The only banner we got, it wound up costing us like 60. If I remember correctly, it was $65 for the 3x5 banner, a three by six banner, something like that. Back when we had Three-Eyed Raven Productions, like 3 or 3.5 years ago. I need to get a new banner for our engagements like Ghostorama and the other cons that we do attend and stuff like that. Um, business cards like $30. Um, shit, normal stuff. But hopefully before the year's up, we'll be able to find somebody in the area that can do the t-shirts, can do the mugs, stuff like that. But it sure isn't going to happen on my 52 cents above minimum wage job. You know, when you come to the realization that you have worked pretty much in the same field for 40 years and you've actually worked under a few really good chefs to the point where you are actually called or categorized as a chef yourself. And knowing that the average annual pay of a certified cook in your state is anywhere between 22 and $36 an hour. And there are people coming in and starting to work where you work at that only make 56 cents less than you do an hour. It gets pretty depressing. It gets pretty depressing. But like I said, hopefully before the year's up, I will have some semblance of a mug and T-shirts, maybe even hoodies. I know a lot of people love a cozy, warm hoodie. So who knows? We'll just have to see what happens. Um, what about the restaurant you used to work at? Do you talk to them at all? The restaurant has become, or the bar became an Indian restaurant, and uh, they actually, since I was the only non-Indian that was going to be working in the kitchen, they actually wanted to start me off at less than minimum wage. Um, and I told them, it's illegal to do that. And they finally agreed to pay me minimum wage, and then proceeded to tell me I didn't know what I was doing. And their 22-year-old Indian chef could do everything by himself. And then told me that I was just an average, rude American, um, and disrespectful. I went back to work for him for a short time, in case you didn't know. I was there a total of 5 days, and um, they put me in the kitchen cooking nothing but the American food. Well, of course, when our customers realized that I was back, they crowded the place on a Friday night, and they let me get about 22 orders buried before the owner came back there and started screaming about how I was not able to keep up, but the other two cooks that only cooked Indian food were just standing there watching, laughing, enjoying it. I don't care who you are, you don't got to put up with that kind of shit. And I didn't. I walked out in the middle of the shift and let them suffer through it. Indian restaurant, is that popular there? No, not really. Not really. When they have somebody that can cook American food, and the only reason I went back up there to ask about working there was because everybody in town told me they didn't know a damn thing about cooking American food. It won't last long anyway. They have a nasty habit of only cleaning the kitchen once a day. So only cleaning the make tables and stuff once. I'm not going to go in. No, I'm not going to. Let's just say that come the next health inspection, the place will probably be closed down. Um, what about? It's probably the lowest paid mechanic in the area, even 30 years in. Indian restaurant is that popular there? Hidden benefits made up a lot. Yeah, it was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. It's definitely an experience that I will not repeat. I mean, when you get into a situation where you have been in that field longer than anybody else in that establishment has been alive, and they're telling you you don't know what you're doing, one of the things I did to make that place popular before was I didn't just throw shit on a pizza or half cook a hamburger or whatever the case may be. I made everything look as good as it tasted. They didn't want that. They wanted a chef. They asked for a chef, but wanted a short order cook. Somebody that could get 4 and 5 orders out in 5 minutes. That's not me. I want a customer. I mean, I've been a food reviewer, for God's sakes. I want somebody who's going to look at a plate sitting in front of them and think, oh my God, if it tastes half as nice as it looks, this is going to be the best meal I've had in months. I don't want, I don't want un, yeah, I don't want unattractive food going out to my people that are coming in to see me. Expect high UV levels today. Wear SPF 30 plus. Well, isn't that special? Hell, a presentation is a deciding factor. No one would ever eat split peas. I knew what you meant, Tony. I knew what a split pea was. And frankly, between me and you, I got no problem with split peas. I cook them suckers in a pot with a big old ham hock or something like that, and or bacon, any good juicy piece of pork, and it's wonderful. Same as I do my pork and beans. I ain't never had anybody complain. Hey Lee, good to see you, bud. In case you didn't know, Mr. Lee, um, we have a second channel now. It is Paranormal Papa Investigations, right here on the old tube. Uh, so it's like I was saying earlier, a good portion of this live stream had to do with an investigation we done last night at the brewery. But the video of the investigation and the rest of our paranormal videos and everything will only be over on that channel. So, plus, if I ever make it, back out to Gettysburg or to any of the other battlefields again, um, all those will be over there too. So, in case you didn't know, I'm no longer working at the Hat Place in Hanover. I believe you told us that the last time you was here, that you had moved to a different place and was much happier. So that, of course, is all that's important. My old man used to verbally beat that into us kids on a daily basis. That if you didn't love what you done, if you didn't enjoy it, if it was not a positive place to work, then you wanted to go in to work less and less every day. Do something you love and you'll never regret it. Do something you love and it will never be a job. It'll be a joy. So congratulations on getting out of there. If it wasn't everything that you deserved, then it wasn't worth going in there for. I got fired, so now I'm back at good old Joseph A. Bank. Well, see, it's obvious they didn't appreciate you and what you did, because I know for a fact you went into that place and busted your ass every single day. And you always got your stuff done. You were an asset to their company. So if they couldn't appreciate you for what you done, they didn't deserve you anyway. Do something you love and you'll eventually fucking hate it. No, that is not how that saying goes, Tony. That is not how that saying goes. Management said you wasn't pulling your weight, apparently. I don't believe that, because you used to tell us regularly when you was able to get on the chat what you were doing in there. And any of us that actually know you and have spent time with you knows that you don't go in and half-ass anything. You give it more than you should to make that good impression. So, if they, like I said, if they couldn't appreciate you and what you done for them, let them try to find somebody better. And I'll feel sorry for them later when they realize how badly they messed up. Yeah, but it's oftentimes how it goes. Yeah. I all but hate working on a vehicle. And see, my dad loved it, but I think he loved the customers more so. Now, I guess that's the nice thing about being a service manager is you manage your team, but he got to deal with the customers. And I think that's what he loved more than anything is being a service manager, which is why a lot of those customers, when he retired, before they moved, down to Tennessee, I think that's why a lot of those customers were bringing their cars out to the house so dad could continue working on their cars, and they wouldn't take them back to the dealership. They brought the stuff straight out to our 2 bay garage and the old cinder block frickin' building out in the middle of the barnyard. And that's where they would bring their Corvettes. That's where they would bring their brand new Fords and stuff that they bought. You know, I remember having an old 19, what it was like a 1972 Stingray out there that the old man uh, worked on the engine, and then we turned around and detailed it for him, and I got to drive it, with the old man, of course, back to the guy. The old man followed me in his truck, and I drove the Stingray back to the guy that owned it, and he was happy as all get out that not only did we get it running like a top again, but we shined it up inside and out for him. And that's, that's how you treat people, you know. But yeah, I think it was the dealing with the customers directly, that the old man loved about being a mechanic. Well, anyways, back to work. I'll check in some other time. All right, Lee, you take care of yourself, bud. Much love, man. Miss you bunches. Hopefully, see you soon. Maybe we'll get another Garth Brooks concert or something here in the area, and um, I go hang out with you. When I did the job, I spent years doing it at home after work, so I was wrenching 12, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Yeah. Now, see, you can get burnt out on it. I can understand that. Um, Dad very seldom ever done anything through the week. He put in his 8 or 10 hours at the dealership, and he would come home, and that was our time. That was me and my sister and mom and dad, you know, sitting outside in chairs or watching something on TV together. Now, every once in a while he was still working, he'd run across, or have a situation come up at work where the folks, old retired folks couldn't afford $65 an hour labor, and on top of the cost of the repairs. And he'd tell them, bring it out to my house on Saturday or Sunday and I'll work on it. And, the folks they'd be able to give him $20 or something for labor. But the old man still, well, it only took me 2 hours to do it. That's $10 an hour labor, you know, which, back in the 80s, $10 an hour was pretty damn good for anybody. Hell, there's a lot of states now in 2025 that their minimum wage is only 20 or only $10 an hour. A lot of them, like Indiana, it's only like 9.25 an hour minimum wage. So 35, 40 years ago, making $10 an hour was pretty damn good for just turning a wrench. I had 4 teenage daughters. There was never enough money. Oh, now see, I agree. I absolutely agree. That's how we feel now. She's working her job. I go and put in well, now, a few more hours a week with, the upshoot in production every day for the summer months. Uh, but yeah, you know, there's never enough money. By the time pay off a car to people that were nice enough to provide a car to you, give it to you without any money down. You know, by the time you make, you know, the 3 or 4 payments to get it paid off, you got insurance on it, which Michigan is shit on insurance. We pay per month on one 2003 Ford Explorer in Michigan what my mom and dad pay in Tennessee for 2 cars, a 2015 Z71 Chevy pickup and a brand new Ford Coupe for 6 months. So Indiana should, or Michigan is shit on insurance. I haven't ever been broke since paying off the house, so I'm okay with how things are going. Pay $100 a month on the Suburban and Dakota and the Forerunner. See, we pay $100 a month on one 2003 Ford Explorer. And that's like the bare minimum that you're going to find. That's like dirt cheap insurance here. Um, she was paying $200 a month on the car that she did have that we let them repossess because she was making payments, had to carry full coverage insurance on it. We go through State Farm. My family has been with State Farm for over 60 years. And State Farm, believe it or not, was the cheapest insurance. She shopped around. She shopped around. We found insurance starting at $125 a month for just normal, regular coverage, going all the way up to $275 a month, depending upon who you went with. And don't let anybody lie to you. You do not save 15% or more on your insurance for going with a lizard because they were one of the most expensive insurance companies around for that Explorer. The what was the other really expensive one? Oh, Progressive, talking about how much less they are than everybody. They were unfrickin' godly. Not as bad as going with a lizard, but they were right up there close by. So I mean, it. See, the problem is that Michigan is a no fault state, so they don't even have act of God clause on their insurance. I remember back in the 80s, I was driving an old 72 LTD, which was my grandmother and grandfather's, and a deer ran out and hit the front quarter panel and just mashed that sucker all up. Insurance wrote it off as an act of God clause. We wound up getting the quarter panel and stuff fixed on the car, and it wasn't 3 years later that I had my first really bad car accident and hit an icy bridge. Um, the rest of the road was fine, but it was two little bridges going over two creeks, and I was going along about 50 miles an hour, you know, 5 mile an hour under the speed limit. Hit the first bridge and started to slide this direction, then hit dry pavement and straightened out the car, and then hit the second bridge and went right off the road that direction. Insurance wrote it off, act of God clause. So, but I remember that accident was so bad, I crawled out what used to be the driver's window, walked for 3 miles in a snowstorm. A guy picked me up and took me to the dealership where Dad worked. We got in the truck and drove back out there, and the police were looking through the snowdrifts trying to find the body. I took out like 4 or 5 little trees about yay big around, took that front nose cone in the center of the hood and pushed it all back in, pushed the engine and the transmission back. Um, it was bad. They were all I had was like a little cut, like right across my lips right here, from where I hit the driver's window when it exploded out. But yeah, they were looking for the body in the snow in the ditch where the car was at. We paid 2,000. This is what happens when I talk so much. I lose track of the chat. I got to just start coming on here and staring at the screen, letting you guys do all the talking. Let me see here. Ah, damn it. We pay 2,000 every 6 months for the house and full coverage on both vehicles. See, that's not too awful bad though, because you bundled your house, which I'm sure you guys have got decent coverage on that house with everything you've got there, and the garage and stuff, plus Big Red and your SUV. $2,000 every 6 months. You break that down to a monthly payment, and I'm sure that's actually very competitive with other bundled insurances. Check out Erie Insurance. I pay under $100 for one vehicle, 100, 300 coverage. Hey, Freedom. Good to see you. At you turn your butt back on. I am not done with you yet. Morning, all. Hope you're well. Kicking. Alive and kicking. Um, Still building up the second channel, Paranormal Papa Investigations. Went and done an investigation last night, if that's what you want to call it. It was interesting, to say the least. But that video will premiere over on Paranormal Papa Investigations on Wednesday night. Um, it's going to be one of the funniest investigations you all ever saw. Morning all. I've never even heard of Erie Insurance. I'll have to look at that. Morning all. Hope you're well. I have never had an insurance claim. Morning Freedom. Good, thank you. Um, Glad to hear. How's retirement going? Going well. We have time for what needs done now. Single vehicle coverage was $68 for me, but that was 10 years ago. Yeah, and see, like I said, with Michigan being a no-fault state, that's one of the things that makes our insurance a little higher. Um, Also, because there's a really good number of people who drive around without insurance, so the insurance companies know that sooner or later you're going to use them for something, and they want to make sure to get their money's worth out your ass. Oh yeah, I'm sure retirement's absolutely beautiful. We went to a little get together for one of Steph's co-workers here a couple weeks ago. He was retiring from the casino, and worked in security. Great guy. I was really amazed at how many people showed up, especially with them having this whole rule against employees spending time with each other outside of work. I was really surprised together for everyone to have room to sit. So and we still had people crowded together, bumping elbows. So and it's like I told him, you know, don't get bored. Find something you love to do. You got time to do it now. You don't got to go to work every day. Find something that you love to do and do the hell out of it. Whatever. If it's going out and picking up little pieces of gardening equipment or whatever, and sanding them down and painting them and selling them in your front yard, or making bird houses, or going fishing. Find something you love to do and do the hell out of it. Don't let retirement bore you like my dad did. I just found out yesterday, or Sunday, Saturday. I'm sorry, Saturday was my mom's birthday, and I called and found out, for the last 5 weeks, my old man has been out in his shed shampooing carpets and sanding and lacquering his workbenches and washing everything down. And he goes out and he finds these little uh, hand plows or whatever, these old iron plows. Uh, People got sitting beside the road, and he takes them home and he sands them down and paints them up real pretty. Well, he found a little wood burning potbelly stove sitting out along the road, threw it up in the back of his truck, took it home, hand sanded the whole thing down, painted it up real pretty, and now it sits in one of mom's flower beds. He's not letting the predator called time hunt him down. He's finding things to do to keep that predator at bay. So, we are required to have no fault here in Illinois. Mine is normally around 80 and change. With taxes, they also have disaster coverage for deer. I have since buggers, have radar for my vehicles. Oh, we already know that deer here in Michigan are born suicidal or homicidal. Let's put it that way. Um, they You'll be driving up the road and see them just standing there watching cars go by, and right when you get up to them, you get 5 feet from them. That's when they decide to either run into the side of your car, jump on the hood of your moving car, try to jump over your moving car, or something. Turkeys are the same way here. They will literally um, they will start walking out in the road and see you slow down, and they'll turn around and walk back to the side of the road. And when you start to move um, past them slowly, they'll jump up on the hood of your car, run right into the front of it, fly into your window, whatever the case may be. I have hit 11 deer and one coyote. I'm not sure what we are, to be honest, but I know we have a lot of uninsured motorists, but my insurance covers most everything, minimal pay, if any. I can't even count how many I have hit, destroyed a Saturn I had. How I learned Saturn was mostly plastic. Makes sense. After the 11th, I started driving at 62 as opposed to 80 and haven't hit one since. The guy who rear ended Ashley didn't have insurance, and it's questionable as to whether he had a license. Her insurance company picked up everything, but their insurance isn't that good. I have had herds run into the highway to get me. An 8 lane roadway in Canada, no forest anywhere within 25 miles. Little shits. That's a shame. Wish people would be more responsible. Amen to that. Um, the big ha ha with these deer running across the road. People put out signs, and this is going to sound stupid, but me and the wife actually had this argument one day. She was angry because the deer were not running across the road in the designated places that the county or the state would put up the signs for a deer crossing. They weren't running in between those signs like they're supposed to. They were running um, other areas where there were no signs. And she said, well, aren't that's what those signs are for? And I straight up asked her, do you really think a deer can read a sign to know where they're supposed to cross at? I mean, are we having this conversation right now? Are the is the blonde really showing through? But this is the same woman who thought Washington D.C. was located in Washington State. So it just goes to prove the faults with public education. But she's pretty. I married her because she was pretty, not because she knew geography. Oh, dear God. Then again, this is the same woman who thought the president's faces were carved on the Rock of Gibraltar. Oh, I got to catch up on this. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's exactly it, Jan. She is beautiful and she has a huge heart. That is that is what I tell myself every time that Felix decides she wants to come in our bedroom and give her mom a quiz of some kind. And I just sit there on my little knee pillows at the edge of the bed, look at her mom, look at Felix, watch Felix try to hold back laughing so hard that she's going to pee on herself. Um, and, just look at my wife, and I go back at Felix and look at my wife and look back at Felix. And finally, I just say, it was your mom's beautiful smile that made me want to marry her. Nothing else. Just her beautiful smile. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. Then she's one of the most blissful people I've ever met in my life. I learned that deer won't cross road where it makes sense. Very true. In most obscure places, we know where the deer hang out, so go slow in those areas. I just try to stay away from roads in dawn and dusk. You almost got to. You almost got to. Well, look at that temperature now. It was 39 degrees at 6:30. It was 39 degrees at 7 o'clock. It was 42 degrees at 8 o'clock. And it's 61 degrees right now. So we are well on our way to that damn near 80 degrees it's supposed to be today. The whole of Illinois corn country is a deer hangout. You guys all have yourselves a good day. That's going to be it. I got to get back to that video so I can get it premiered for Wednesday evening. Uh, like I said, it's going to be one like you've never seen before, and it's only going to be on the Paranormal Papa Investigations channel. So get y'all fannies over there and get subscribed to that channel so you know when our investigation videos come up. But that's going to be it today, guys. Thanks for all the love and support coming in, hanging out with us on Monday mornings. And we'll catch y'all next week. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. And we'll catch you next Monday morning. Y'all have a good day. Take care. Much love.